Heaven and hell, eternal destinations or metaphors. Visions of golden gates watched by angels, or the blazing inferno of an abyss. Heaven and hell have long shaped how people think about right and wrong. These aren't just pictures of the afterlife. They work as moral frameworks, guiding decisions and setting standards for what it means to live well. In Christianity, heaven is described as eternal life with God, while hell is a place of lasting separation and suffering. Some Protestant denominations interpret these descriptions as literal, while others use terms like paradise more figuratively, seeing them as symbols of spiritual fulfillment or alienation. Roman Catholicism adds a concept of purgatory, a transitional state for the cleansing of venial sins before entering heaven. Hinduism takes a different approach. Here, heaven, or Swarga Loka, and hell, Naraka, are temporary realms within the cycle of reincarnation. Entry depends on karma, with Yama ruling Naraka based on records kept by Chitragupta, all under the guidance of Ishwara. These beliefs encourage followers to act according to Dharma, shaping daily choices. Across traditions, the idea of reward and punishment after death influences how people live. But for many traditions, even heaven and hell are just pit stops on a longer journey. Reincarnation, life on repeat. Reincarnation turns the afterlife into something far more dynamic. Not a final destination, but a cycle of returns. In Hinduism, this cycle, called samsara, binds each soul to the consequences of karma. Good or bad actions ripple forward, shaping the circumstances of the next birth. Swarga Loka, or heaven, is only a temporary stop in this journey, lasting until karma leads to another rebirth. The ultimate goal is moksha, when the soul finally breaks free from the cycle. Buddhism also sees rebirth as a repeating cycle, but here, the focus is on suffering. Life, afterlife, beings are caught in samsara until they achieve nirvana, the end of suffering and release from rebirth. The difference is subtle but important. Both traditions see existence as a series of chances, but their end goals, moksha and nirvana, reflect different views on what liberation means. African traditions like the Congo system offer a different take. Instead of souls being reborn, the emphasis is on the spirit's qualities passing on. The Bomitaba, for example, name children after ancestor spirits who appear in dreams, believing these qualities can continue without the ancestor's death. This approach sees continuity as something immediate, not tied to the soul's journey. Whether it's the rebirth of a soul or the return of ancestral qualities, reincarnation reshapes how we see life's arc. It opens the door to even stranger possibilities about what might happen when life ends. Simulation theory. Are we just code? Some theories move beyond souls and spirits, suggesting our entire universe could be a sophisticated illusion. Simulation theory asks if we're living inside an advanced computer program where everything, from time and space to the laws of physics, might be code created by a higher civilization. Philosopher Nick Bostrom's simulation trilemma lays out three options. Either civilizations never survive long enough to build such simulations, they choose not to, or we're already inside one. His argument focuses on the idea that if simulating entire worlds becomes possible, it's likely we're not in the original. Tech leaders like Elon Musk have weighed in, saying there's only a 1 in billions chance that we're in base reality, while astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson gives it a 50-50 shot. Both point to rapid advances in video games and artificial intelligence as clues that simulations could soon rival reality. Some people look for evidence in everyday glitches, like the Mandela effect. For example, millions remember the children's book as Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain, or recall Nelson Mandela dying in prison when in fact he didn't. These shared false memories are sometimes seen as possible hints of errors in the simulation. If our world is indeed code, what happens when we die? Maybe the program doesn't let consciousness end at all. Quantum immortality, never truly gone. Quantum immortality raises a question that feels straight out of science fiction. Could you, in some sense, never truly be gone? The idea is rooted in Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, introduced in 1957. It starts with the famous Schrödinger's cat thought experiment. In quantum theory, the cat in the box exists in a superposition, both alive and dead, until someone looks inside, collapsing the wave function and forcing a single outcome. Everett's theory suggests that instead of just one outcome, the universe splits, creating a separate timeline for each possibility. Quantum immortality takes this further with the concept of quantum. If every possible outcome of a potentially fatal event creates a new universe, then in at least one branch, you always survive. From your own perspective, consciousness never encounters its own end. It always continues in the timeline where you make it through. This challenges the traditional idea of death as a final stop. Instead, it hints at a reality where existence never truly ends, just shifts to the next possible version of events. Next, we circle back to an ancient idea of a single cosmic beginning. Cosmic egg theory, the universe reborn. Cosmic egg theory imagines everything, space, time, and life, compressed into a single primordial egg. Across cultures, this symbol stands for the origin of existence and the unity of all things. In Chinese mythology, Pangu lay in the egg for 18,000 years before it hatched. When he broke free, the upper shell became the heavens, the lower shell formed the earth, and even the sun, moon, and stars emerged from the fragments. This story shows how order can come from chaos. Egyptian Hermopolitan mythology tells of 8 primordial gods. The Ogdoad, who shaped an egg out of the primeval waters. The shell became the sky, the yolk, the earth, and from this egg, the first land and the sun god emerged. The theme of birth from water and the egg repeats across traditions. In Dogon belief, the creator god Amma becomes an egg divided into 4 elements. After a flawed creation by Ogo, Amma's act and the resurrection of Nomo bring order to the cosmos. Whether ancient or scientific, the cosmic egg speaks to cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, setting the stage for the idea of consciousness beyond the body. Lucid Awakening, death as consciousness unlocked. Some suggest that death could be less like a blackout and more like waking up inside a new kind of reality, a lucid awakening. While not directly supported by our sources, this idea draws parallels to lucid dreaming, where people become aware they're dreaming and sometimes gain control over the dream. Lucid dreamers report awareness independent of physical senses. Some see this as a clue to post-death consciousness, hinting that awareness might persist even without the body. In lucid dreams, the rules of the world bend. Dreamers reshape their surroundings or make choices that feel entirely their own. This has led some to speculate that after death, consciousness could move into a state where physical limitations no longer apply and agency expands. Instead of facing an end, the mind might enter a space of new possibilities and exploration. Practicing lucid dreaming in life could even serve as preparation, training people to navigate altered states and reducing fear of the unknown. If you can wake up inside a dream, could consciousness wake up into a shared reality? It's an interesting question, so let's explore minds merging beyond life. Collective consciousness, a unified mind after death. Collective consciousness asks, what would happen if your mind didn't end at death, but instead joined with others to create a unified awareness? This idea has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and mystics alike. In neuroscience, studies show that during conversations and collaborative tasks, people's brainwave patterns can synchronize, especially in areas linked to empathy and social understanding. These moments of neural alignment hint at how minds might connect on a deeper level. Neuroba, a neurotechnology company, is researching how brain-computer interfaces, devices that already let people control prosthetics with their thoughts, could go further. Their vision is to synchronize brain activity in real time, allowing groups to share experiences, emotions, and even memories directly. The hope is that such technology could let people collaborate by sharing mental states, not just words. Quantum communication is another area of speculation. Perhaps death frees us from our bodies and merges individual rhythms into one mind, forming a new kind of collective existence. But if consciousness can move beyond the self, what other boundaries could it cross? Shift to other dimensions beyond the veil. Shifting to other dimensions offers a different way to think about what happens after death. Instead of seeing death as a finite conclusion, this idea suggests it could be a transition, a move into a reality we can't yet perceive. Theories about multiverses and dimensional travel propose that our universe might be just one of many, each existing side by side like pages in a vast book. In this view, death may be less an ending and more a step into another chapter, a new reality with its own rules. String theory gives some scientific context, proposing that the universe may have up to 10 or 11 dimensions, beyond the ones we experience daily. These hidden dimensions could hold the key to understanding how consciousness might continue elsewhere. Biocentrism, put forward by Robert Lanza, argues that consciousness is fundamental and that space and time are constructs of the mind. Lanza claims death cannot exist in any real sense because consciousness itself shapes reality, suggesting that what we call death may be a shift to another universe. Some scientists also point to quantum experiments, like the delayed choice experiments, that hint at the possibility of reality changing based on observation, raising questions about how consciousness might interact with other dimensions. If other dimensions await, death could be your first step into a broader reality. Throughout history, people have searched for meaning beyond the end of life. From moral maps of heaven and hell to science's branching realities, every story reveals our hope for meaning beyond finality. Theories like reincarnation, simulation, quantum immortality, and collective consciousness all reflect a drive to find continuity or transformation after death. Which idea resonates most with you? Eternal reward, rebirth, or a cosmic simulation? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Whatever you believe, the journey beyond death remains the great mystery. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.